Well, hello and welcome to week 6 of 16 in this block of training for the Leeds Marathon in May 2025. And this run here was a nice recovery run from the day before. Well, the day before was the Bourton 10K, which is why I needed a recovery run. And that run was quite a high intensity run because it was my second fastest ever 10K. I finished in 41:09. I wanted a PB, which would have been 14 seconds quicker, but you can't PB on every race. And I remember feeling slightly dejected at the time, but thinking back, I think that was actually a pretty decent performance, and it shows that my VO2 max is there or thereabouts. And considering I haven't done a great deal of 5 or 10K, speed specific work during this block, I can't really grumble. So a lovely morning run there with Daisy, and I did something similar on the Tuesday, but this one was a little bit quicker. This was trying to keep to those average lap splits of 5 minutes a K or 8 minutes a mile, just to try and keep the ship steady in my new Evo SLs, which I'm really enjoying wearing, by the way. Wednesday morning, now this will come as no surprise that we headed up the hills, Daisy and I. We waited for a stormy morning to pass, and then late morning we headed up the hills. So we went from the witch cutting down to British Camp and back, and we kept it sort of flat and steady along the out, and on the back it was where we did the hills, so at the reverse of what I would normally do. And this section here I can't wait to run down in a couple of weeks because it's littered with a carpet of bluebells. I'm quite excited in a nerdy way to run through that exact same field and show you the bluebells. Probably what no one will care about apart from me. So here you can see me and Daisy just loving our life, just running along the top of Millennium Hill, and that's British Camp there, which is the Iron Age hill fort, which is why it's got that interesting shape to it, because it used to be a civilization. People used to live up there in the Iron Age, but no one's lived up there for thousands of years. Well, I think I have to check that, but I think it's at least 1,000 years. But to be honest, there's a Co-op, an Aldi, a Lidl, a Morrison's in Great Malvern, so there's no need to live up there anymore. And then on the way down British Camp, as you can see, Daisy just likes to absolutely go full throttle down the path and drag me with her, which is, as you can imagine, not the easiest thing to do. So when you're constantly putting the brakes on, it's a great little tester for your quads. But this was the end of the run, and as you can see from my splits, they're very uneven, as you'd expect because of the hills. But I was quite pleased there to come away with a respectable run. Wednesday night was track night, and I ran here with Mac. Now we are aiming for similar sort of marathon times, so we both decided that on this particular track night we'd just keep it simple, and the session was 1600s, which is basically a mile. So it was 4 laps around the track, and we did 6 lots of that, and we kept it to our marathon pace, which worked quite well. And then Friday, having had Thursday off, Friday was another nice easy day. We sort of upped the distance slightly because I'm kind of conscious that I need to just get the miles in. So this one was a slightly longer 13-kilometre run, and it was a lot of fun. Saturday, this is going to be a whole separate video. This was the Ludlow parkrun, and I'll give you a little spoiler. I thought I could win it. That is so days. I can't tell you how hard that parkrun is.
But you said I'd enjoy it.
You would enjoy it, but it's a nice easy pace.
This way, Days, come on.
Doing that course all out is nothing short of disgusting. I think I did, according to the watch. This quite possibly is going to be the worst or hardest ever long run I've ever done. I had a family party somewhere called Oldham last night, which is basically, 5 miles from Manchester or something like that. And this morning, before I go home, before we all have to meet up for breakfast, as you can hear from my voice last night, I had a good night. So I was on the Guinness last night, so I'm a bit worried about how this is going to go. But yeah, before I go, I'm going to get a 28k run in, so it's about 16, 17 miles. But I'm doing a massive hill up to somewhere called Grains Bar, which will be a really good simulation of miles 18 to 20 at Leeds.
So yeah, that's the idea today, is just to try and get up that hill, because it ain't going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be hard, because it's 4 mile long, the one I'm doing today. The one I'm doing in Leeds is only 2 miles long, but that comes at 18 miles, I think. Yeah, come on, let's just get on with it and see how we do. Right, go, let's go. Have I actually started the run? Right, now we go it. Look at that for a view. That's amazing. I'm at the top of the moor almost now, I think. That was hard. Long, steady hill the whole way up. Pleased to see the back of it, to be honest, because that's been quite hard. But I'm not at the top yet, but I will be soon. And yeah, moving well, I think. Fairly steady, so not at pace or anything, but I'm moving, which is the main thing. Wow, it's like solid ice up here. Wow, it really is icy on the tops of these moors. So I'm 45 minutes in to my run and I've just got to the top of that hill. Just look at this. Oh wow, what countryside this is. This is amazing. I know I was moaning about going up the hills, but this is the trade-off. If you get a day like this with views, oh, it's just gorgeous. Also, don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be pausing your watch and taking photos on your long run either. I'm giving you permission. Do it. This is amazing. It's going to be a good run. This. It's going to be a good run. I've got to get back to my hotel for 11 though, because I've got to get checked out. Else there's a fine. There's literally a fine. That's the sort of place I'm stopping in. Every now and again on a run, I get to do this moment rather than I have to do this. This is just absolutely wonderful. Name a better sport than running, man. I genuinely don't think it's possible. A sport that takes you all over and you can just explore at your own leisure on foot, as well as finding a bit of mindfulness, calming yourself down and getting some really good health and physical benefits as well. I just can't think of a better sport or hobby to have. So I'm at the top of the second bump, which is now Spring Head, and only half the height is Grange Bar, but the steepness is a lot higher, so that was a bit of a jaunt to get up. Anyway, all down and into Oldham now, and then back to the hotel. Coming towards the end of a pretty good run, to be fair. It's been hilly, it's been long, perfect training run for the Leeds Marathon. 6 weeks in and feeling good. So back from that run, it ended up being 25.5k in the end, and I'm absolutely cream crackered. That was a really hard run, especially after a bit of a skinful last night. That was not an easy run at all. I did it unfueled as well, which probably wasn't a good idea, but there was nowhere to have breakfast this morning. I totally forgot to factor in breakfast, and I took with me my belt, and I had some water in there, and because I thought I'd be really dehydrated and I wouldn't even make it up those hills, but I didn't even I had maybe one swig of water, and I took with me some a Voom bar, didn't even have any. I had half of a Voom bar this morning before I left, so I've had equivalent of a gel for breakfast, and then just did that 26k run. But I'm getting better, you know, my body's getting better at sort of running unfueled, which I know is a bad habit really, but I am getting better at being able to draw on my own, you know, natural sources of fuel, I guess. Maybe it was the Guinness, I don't know. But this run I just did took me up to 87k for the week. So wanted 90k, so yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty pleased with that. But this hill training is all for miles 18 to 20 at the Leeds Marathon, because when you get to 18, so I've seen on the course, it just goes like that for 2 mile, and that is not what you need, you know, at that stage of a marathon. But you know, what can you do? So apart from train for it. So that's why I'm getting all these hills in, these steady miles. I didn't do anything particularly quickly today. On the way down from Upper Mill after the canal section, so down into Oldham, so the final third, I managed to sort of pick up the pace slightly. But I mean, since doing track recently, I've turned off auto splits on my watch, so I've got no idea how fast I'm currently running, if that makes sense. All I can see is my average pace, and today I was looking at a GPS map the whole time, so I didn't even look at pace. And you know what? Not having average splits is such a liberating thing. It's taken me 4 years to realise that. I've kind of always thought, oh, I need my average splits. I need my split times to know what I'm running. But you don't. Once you stop thinking about the mile and the kilometre you're in, and you just run, you know, it's fine. It's totally fine. The only reason you really need to know your lap splits are when you're racing. When you're training, it doesn't really matter, really, does it? Really. But anyway, I'm just about to sign off from this week. Here's my view. Lovely view of the Ford garage there, and in the background is Manchester. So good luck to those of you that are running the Manchester Marathon a few weeks' time from now. You'll be running around that wonderful city, and I hope you all have a good one for those of you that are running it. But that's it for this week. Week 6 done. And so like the first section was the base build. Now I'm getting into the more of the meat and bones of the actual the training block. So now I'm going to be trying to hit 100 kilometers over the next few weeks. So 60 mile. So a lot. The volume is really is really, really increasing. And then it's going to be another deload, and then the peak weeks will be hitting with the biggest mileage I've ever done, probably up to 130k, 140k, something like that, so about 80 miles. And then it'll be taper, and then it'll be Leeds Marathon. So that's how the next few weeks is going to look for me. But I'm really happily plodding along, doing my steady long runs with no marathon pace at the moment. Marathon pace might come later on down the line. It might not come at all. I might just keep prioritising these elevation-y steady runs. I don't know. I might have a run around Pitchcroft, just doing flat loops at marathon pace. I don't know, but I don't know how useful that would be compared to getting out and running the hills like today. So I don't know. A lot to think about, but not a lot to worry about, if that makes sense. So thank you for watching. I know this has been a long video, but I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy wherever you are in the world, and from this beautiful hotel here in Manchester, on Manchester Street. It's probably the worst hotel in Oldham. It's only 55 quid. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Ta-da.